All right, before we go and do the bottom subtitle, I figured out what I did wrong. So let's have Earth's Deadliest Assassins active. I'm going to double click on effects, and I want my black stroke to go above my yellow stroke. I can't drag it. It won't let me do that, right? I have two strokes, won't let me do that. So I'm going to hit this little up arrow right here to move that effect up. Right now it doesn't look much different, but I want to change the black stroke to outside like that, and that's more what I'm looking for. That's the effect that I liked before. And I'm going to click OK and then toggle that closed. Now we're cool. All right, so let me look back at the reference over here, and we are going to create Black Knight, introducing Black Knight, right? So this is our first issue, and we're going to introduce the Black Knight. So take our type tool, and I'm going to pick the other font you downloaded, World at War, italic, and we're going to set it to 150. I'm going to click down here somewhere and do Black Knight. Color doesn't really matter because we're going to add a gradient overlay to it. I'm going to move it over here. We might need to readjust it in a minute. I'm going to double click on Black Knight, add a stroke, make the stroke size 50. So our font's a lot bigger than the last one we were doing, which is that. And we want it outside and black. Then we're going to do an inner shadow. And we want it normal, opacity to 100, and black. Then we're going to have and turn global light off. Make sure global light is unchecked. And we want these settings to be 4, 100, and 8. And you're going to change your contour until it's these two little camel humps there. And it's called ring double. All right. Then I'm going to come down and do another inner shadow, and you hit the plus sign, right? You probably don't have two, so if you don't have two, hit the plus sign. I'm going to do another inner shadow, and I'm going to make sure that blend mode's normal, black, 100%, angle is 20, global light's checked off, 2, 100, 1, and again, double black ring. All right. Next up, we're going to do I know what we forgot. On both of them, make sure that the noise is set to 100, slider all the way over. We got white, and we want to add a gradient, make it look something like that. So we're going to do a gradient overlay. Normal, opacity 100, click on it, come into our red stop, our first stop, make it 0, 100, 100 for red. And then we're going to come over to our second stop, double click, and make sure it's yellow, 55, 100, and 100. Click OK. And I'm going to click OK to exit out. I'm going to come over here and just make sure. And it looks like I have a lot more red, very little yellow, and an exclamation mark. So let's go ahead and do that. Type tool, exclamation mark to make it exciting that we're introducing Black Knight. Double click on gradient overlay. Click on the gradient color here. I'm going to click on my red tab stop. And I'm going to move it. Whoops. Drag that off. I accidentally added an extra stop. Make sure you're dragging on the diamond. I'm going to move this over. I think 65 looks pretty cool. We'll do a location of 65. Click OK. Click OK. Next, we need to add introducing, and let me turn this back on. It throws me off when it's not on there. All right, introducing, and it's going to match similar to that. All right. So let me just double click on this to see what we're working with. Trash Cinema, regular, 48 point. Okay. So I'm going to come over here, Type Tool, Trash Cinema, regular, 48 point font. Whoops. Let me undo a couple times. I accidentally had Black Knight selected, so I better click off of that first. Type Tool, type out, before I start typing, introducing, Trash Cinema, regular, and let me double check what that was. I forget, 48. Okay. And introducing the couple with 3 ellipses. Whoops. We'll move it down there for a second. We're going to do a couple layer effects. Right here I accidentally typed an extra type that I never did, so I'm going to delete it. Double click on my layer for layer effects. We're going to add a stroke. Way too big, so we're going to bring that down. Let's try 24. Looks pretty good. I spelled introducing wrong, so I'll go back and fix that in a moment. Outside, normal, opacity 100%. We'll keep it black. We're going to do a gradient overlay. I'm going to click on it to change the colors. I don't want red, I want white. All the way up in the upper left-hand corner, something like that. And I'm going to click OK and OK. Take my type tool and fix my bad spelling. Introducing. We're going to move it down like that. And you can leave it there. I think I did mine at an angle. But this time I'm going to leave it something like that. I think it looks all right, just like that. And there we go. We have created Earth's Deadliest Assassins, Vixen's issue number 1, introducing Black Knight. So you walked, last thing, let's tidy up over here. Take both of these, create a new folder, call that Subtitle. All right, so we're staying organized. Command S to save. Make sure that's saved in your Google Drive. Now you've walked through it with me. I showed you a bunch of cool little techniques of things to do. There are also a ton of YouTube videos on comic book style lettering and titles if you want to try something different. Your mission is going to be to create your own comic. You're not going to use my layout or my style or my colors. You're going to do your own. You're going to create your own characters, download those. I'll give you some links to some stock photos to download from. Probably from the same kind of gallery I use. There's a lot of cool different ones in there. And then I want you to think about creating your own cool, unique comic book cover, recreating the classic Marvel style, but in your own way, different from mine. It's going to be fun, but challenging.